I've often wondered about the great, what do we call the great composers and great poets and great artists? Why have they become great? Because they serve the inner desire. They serve the emotions of everybody. People have a means of escape by these creative works. But would we have any of these great creative works if the composers, the artists, the poets, etc., the writers, if they were enlightened, if they were living like an open hand, not as a clenched fist, they would have no need to reach out to the world. Think of the Beethovens. Beethoven was reaching out all the time. Look at me, look how great I am. Look how passionate I am. Look how much I have to struggle in order to achieve, to write this work, to achieve this symphony. Look how much I need you to acknowledge me. Look how much pain I'm going through. I mean, these creative geniuses and artists and what have you, they were bastards. They didn't know how to relate. A lot of them were autistic, I'm sure. They didn't know how to relate to the human world. They weren't pleasant. And if they were pleasant, it was to get their own way, a form of manipulation. I mean, isn't that what everyone's doing? You know, the people who want become good, big businessmen and people who succeed in the world, because they succeed, they know how to manipulate. They know how to grow by selling themselves. The awakened person like me, like myself, is already free of all the need to have acknowledgement and praise, and there's nowhere to go when you are awake. There's nowhere to go. You're so totally satisfied and content. But it's not an egoic content. It's just content. There's nowhere else to go. There is nowhere to go when you're already at home. All that nonsense was first birth stuff in my case, and most people are still dramatising first birth stuff. They're still in their nappies. They're still toddlers. As a grown man, they're still toddlers. They're still infantile, childish, adolescent, rebellious, wanting their own way. And that's what the world is, they're sucking up to the world. The world of the clenched fist, egoic nonsense is all about you rub my back and I'll rub your back. You do me a good turn, I'll do you a good turn. You buy my product and my product will please you, and of course you buying it will please me. Jesus came to teach a different way of living. What would Jesus have told Beethoven? What would Jesus have told Mozart? What would Jesus have told Picasso? What would Jesus have told Leonardo da Vinci and Rembrandts and the Turners and the Wordsworths? What would Jesus have really said? Jesus would have said to them all, give all that up and follow me. So what is there to do once you are awake? Well, when you're awake, all you do is live. Or put it this way, the body-mind is being allowed to live, to function. And then there's a play, there's a humour in everything, there's a joy in just simply playing, simply being. I mean, look at the animals. Look at the lions and the lionesses and the cubs. They play with each other. And as you get older, they do nothing but sort of laze around. They go and they're active occasionally to get their food, but on the whole, they just laze around. They're lazy creatures. They're just playful, and that's common with so much of the animal world. As Adidar would say, they're contemplatives. So what is there to do other than to allow your body and mind, the body-mind is one thing, to allow the hands, the feet, the speech, the body itself to do what it should do. You are simply already happy. It all boils down to this analogy of a clenched fist or the open hand. And as a clenched fist, you want to escape. You want to escape. You want to get free of this. You don't like suffering. You don't like unhappiness. You don't like relying on others. You don't like yourself. How does one live like an open hand, or as an open hand? Where is there to go once you're at home? You are doing subconsciousness, you are doing inferiority feelings, you're doing doubt, you're doing excitement, you're doing exasperation, you're doing blaming, you're doing stress, you're doing tension, you're doing all of that nonsense. Stop doing it. Simply be happy. The world as it is hell. This is the hell realm. Just consider yourself as a driver on the road. You're driving like a madman, like a headless chicken. No one's happy on the road, except the awakened being, the one who's enlightened, the one who's just happy to drive. But the enlightened being, the awakened being, isn't going to allow people to walk over him or her. No. But he understands. He's got this wisdom. He's no longer involved in what's known as the click-clack, the machinery of conditional existence. And that's not an avoidance, it's just that he's not involved anymore. The awakened being looks possibly no different to anyone else. The scaffolding has all fallen away. It's like the young child who now progresses from a bike with stabilizers to a bike without stabilizers. A child who's learning to swim removes the armbands. The scaffolding is no longer needed. So it's your choice.